Alrighty, here we go again. What is up, folks? Gonna wait for a couple more people to filter in here, and we'll get started. Now, this is me going back a little bit here, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So wait until we get some more people up in here, and then we'll get underway. But I hope y'all are having a fine evening. This stream probably won't go too long because there's only one document that I'm going to be going over, and it's one of the ones that I had. It was in between the very last filing and one of the ones before. This is the one that I had not gone over before. Hey, what's going on, Dev? How you doing? This is one of the ones that I had not gone over before, that I had kind of skipped over here, and that I never went back over. So we're just going to go over it here now. And because there was some things that I did that was brought to my attention that I did kind of overlook. So I'll address that here tonight because, as we all know, I have no problem admitting when I've either gotten something wrong or if there's something that needs to be corrected on the record. So that's what we'll do here tonight. We'll get a couple more people in here, and then we'll get right underway with that. And yeah, we'll just get through this document. And like I said, then we'll call it a stream, and then we'll wait and see when will be the next time, I guess, that something else is going to be filed. So wait for a couple more people to get up in here, and then we'll get started. So let's wait just a couple minutes more here. So I'll start getting this prepared here. So what we're going to do is, now this is a document that I had brought up before, but I hadn't gone over it on stream. And like I said, I had read it before, but like I said, there were some things that I ended up overlooking, and we'll go over them point by point here, because this is the document where Delirious admits to certain things and then denies other things. And remember, we had talked about this before. So let me see. Go ahead and bring this up here. And this is just to give, again, fair play to the parties, all the parties involved. So let me go ahead and get this ready here, and we'll go ahead and get started. We'll just go ahead and get started here. So let's see. This is the one. No. I don't think you've missed anything. If you just got here, you're at the very beginning. So you shouted me out. I appreciate that, Dev. You always shout me out. I appreciate it. Thank you. You're always good about that. Appreciate that. I'll go ahead and put that out. So, all right. So we're going to go through point by point the allegations of things that he admits to. So this is starting off him addressing the lawsuit itself, right? Admits the allegations in paragraph 1 of the complaint that this is a diversity action. Obviously, defendant in this case is Delirious. Action asserting Illinois state law claims for false light, the defamation per se, defamation, tortious interference with prospective economic advantage, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 1 of the complaint. So that's the initial filing. So what he's saying is that, yeah, this is what I'm being sued for. So yeah, I know this, but denies a lot of the other claims. He'll say, well, yeah, these are things that I did do, technically, right? Defamation per se, defamation towards, tortious interference with prospective economic advantage. Although I don't know if he actually did this, because I don't know of any point where he actually went out of his way to contact any sponsors that I know of. So this right here, I think it's just more of just saying, like, yeah, this is what I'm being sued for. So this is what I'll address. But who knows? Maybe he did. We'll have to wait and see. So defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 2 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 3 of the complaint that defendant is a resident of the state of North Carolina. So basically saying, yeah, I do live in North Carolina. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 3 of the complaint. Jurisdiction and venue. Defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 4 of the complaint that defendant is a citizen of the state of North Carolina, and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. So yeah, basically saying, like, look, there is there's more on the line than just this, essentially. Defendant denies the allegation in paragraph 4 of the complaint that this court has jurisdiction over defendant. Defendant denies the remainder of allegations in paragraph 4 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 5 of the complaint. Defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 6 of the complaint. Factual background. Defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 7 of the complaint. Defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 8 of the complaint. So we'll actually, you know what? This is what I'll do. We'll, because people probably don't remember what each of these is. So we'll go, okay, so what 5 was in the original lawsuit filed, obviously, it was basically upon information beliefs, Delirious is subject to personal jurisdiction in the state of Illinois regarding transact. You know what? We'll just do this as we go on with the other ones. We'll start from 6. Let me see. 6. Defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 6. So what that was in paragraph 6 of the original complaint, it was basically venue is proper in the district pursuant because many of the acts given rise to Ohm's claims occurred in this district. So when he denies, he's basically saying no. He's denying that. Delirious is. So then we have paragraph 7. So plaintiff, let me see. So this is Ohm is a video creator that produces, hosts, and publishes videos on streaming sites such as YouTube and Twitch, to which you can see here, he's saying, Delirious is saying, yeah, that's true. He is, Ohm is that. Then, the content. So we have here the content of Ohm's videos include plaintiff playing various video games, both by himself and with other video streamers. You see here, Delirious agrees with that. Then we have number 9. Plaintiff is professionally known as Ohmwrecker and has purposely kept his image and real name private. We see here number 9. It says defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 9 of the complaint. The plaintiff is professionally known as Ohmwrecker, but defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 9 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So he's just saying, okay, this part is true that he's professionally known as Ohmwrecker, but basically the second part of this, hold on, did it just drop on me? Give me a sec. Here we go. All right, let me just go back here. Let me fix this here. Give me one moment. All right, there we go. So yeah, he's basically, denying the rest of that, saying that no to the rest, essentially. So we'll go down here for the rest here. Let's see. All right, we'll go to 10. We get more people join us here. Good. Appreciate you all joining. So here we have all right, let's continue on here. All right, so number 10 was Ohm has millions of fans and followers in the United States and around the world who follow his work and his social media profiles. So then we have so let me see. This is interesting, right? So number 10, Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 10 for paragraph 10 of complaint or lack of sufficient knowledge. So when it says, lack of sufficient knowledge, it's basically when he's denying, it's not necessarily him saying that, that that's not true. It's more along the lines of, or at least from the way I understand it, and I could be completely wrong. Remember, I'm not a lawyer, not a legal expert, so don't take anything I say, as ironclad. I remind people of this all the time, but my understanding of that for this part right here of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information, it's basically him saying in regards to number 10, right? Where it says he has millions of fans and followers in the United States around the world who follow his work, that, that Ohm has, in regards to Ohm having millions of fans around the world who follow his work and social media profiles. This part right here, complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information, is basically Delirious saying, I don't know. It's not like an outright denial that it's not true. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. It's him essentially saying, I don't know. It's kind of a legal way to say that, I guess you could say. Then we have number 11 here, it says plaintiff has approximately, so this is, Ohm has approximately 2.3 million subscribers on YouTube, 729,000 followers on Twitter, and 492 followers on Twitch. You see here, again, it's basically Delirious saying, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So then we have, not knowing, or not, saying that, saying like, I don't know specifics on that. I guess that's what I would interpret that as, right? So then we have number 12. Defendant is also, it says defendant is also a video creator that produces, hosts, and publishes videos on streaming sites such as YouTube and Twitch. So this is regarding to Delirious. Delirious, yep, that's true. He's saying that's true about me. Number 13, the content of Delirious's videos also includes playing various video games both by himself and with other video game streamers. As you can see, Delirious also says, yep, that's true. Defendant, or he's admitting, right, saying, yep, that jives. Then we have number 14. Defendant is professionally known as H2O Delirious, and he says, yep, he admits that is true. Then we have number 15. Delirious has millions of fans and followers also around the world who follow his work and his social media profiles. Yeah, he says yes. Essentially, he's admitting using. Then it says, number 16, defendant has approximately 13.3 million subscribers on YouTube and 128,000 subscribers on Twitch. 16, as you can see here. Yep, he admits. Delirious's Twitter account has approximately 4.4 million followers prior to the account being suspended for violation of Twitter rules, which he says, yeah, he admits, yep. Then we have 18 in the past. Let me see. Ohm and Delirious have streamed together and uploaded collaborative videos, including each other. And you can see here, yeah, he agrees with that. He admits that is true. Then we have 19. He admits to that, which says plaintiff and defendant are in the same line of business and share a substantial amount of mutual followers. Yeah, he doesn't deny that. Then we have 20. It says prior to March of 2021, plaintiff heard allegations of Delirious being a pedo, to which Delirious, number 20, says he denies the allegation in paragraph 20 of the complaint of defendant being a pedophile. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 20 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Okay, so we go on here. 21. So what it says in the original filing, right? When Ohm confronted Delirious about these allegations, Delirious denied the female involved was a minor and false. And it says in the original filing, this is what it says, and was minor and falsely stated that a different adult female was the subject of the allegation. You see in 21, it says, defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 21 of the complaint. The defendant denied the false accusations defendant denied the false accusations made about defendant by plaintiff. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 21. So what that means is, obviously, he's saying, look, what I said to him that, I didn't know, essentially, I didn't know. That's basically what he's kind of reiterating there with that, even though it's a confusing way to put it. I know, because this is all legal filing stuff, right? So then we have in March of 2021, Ohm spoke with the individual. Delirious identified and found out that a different individual was the subject of the allegation against Delirious, and that the individual was a minor at the time of the sexual interaction with the defendant. She also informed Ohm about Delirious having sexual interactions with other minors and releasing RP against her. Now we know that, right here, he denies all of that, right? He denies, he denies each of the allegations in paragraph 22 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So basically just outright denying all of that. is Delirious. So go on here. Let's move this up. So on March, so this is on March 31st. This is number 23. On March 31st, 2021, plaintiff shared with a private group of mutual friends that this individual had such allegations against Delirious, right? So it says, and number 23, we see Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 23. So he's just outright denying that, right? And then we have number 24. We'll move this up here. It says in April of 2021, Delirious learned that through the group of friends that Ohm discussed these allegations and began deleting thousands of tweets. So here we have Delirious admits the allegation in paragraph 24 of the complaint that in April of 2021, Delirious deleted tweets. However, Delirious denies the implied allegation in paragraph 24 of the complaint and denied that complaint that Delirious began deleting tweets in an attempt to hide any evidence supporting plaintiff's false accusations against him, rather than simply deleting old tweets containing inside jokes and statements that plaintiff was attempting to collect and take out of context and use in his feud against defendant and a group of gamers known as the Van Os Group to try to get certain members of defendant canceled by fans and followers. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations of paragraph 24. So what he's basically saying is like, yeah, I did delete some tweets. That is true, but they're not but they weren't tweets that were they weren't the tweets that this guy's saying that they were. They weren't these how should I say these they weren't these. He's basically trying to say in his denial that they weren't incriminating tweets like he would have you believe is basically what Delirious is saying. And who knows? Because again, as far as tweets go, we've never seen, right? We've never seen what was in any of, if there's been any like really damning tweets, right, in regards to the Brie Lynn girl, right? Because we've seen tweets where Delirious was in some of the threads where Wildcat and them were talking with her, but we've never seen an admission at any point by Delirious in those tweets. That has never surfaced. Again, does it mean that it exists? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we'll see it in a future filing if Ohm has it. But no. What he's saying is that he did do what was said with the girl in the call, right? But he's still saying that essentially, he's not claiming that he knew that she was underage. He still maintains that is basically what the filing says, Apple. So, let's see, going on here. All right, let's continue. Let me get back to the filing here. So let's see. So number 25. Okay, in April of 2021, let's see. Delirious contacted Ohm, denying the allegations regarding the sexual interactions with minor, as it was clear that, and again, this is Ohm's filing, as it was clear that Delirious was lying. Ohm blocked defendant on social media accounts, to which we see Delirious says, that he admits that of the complaint that in April of 2021, defendant contact plaintiff denying his false accusations. Defendant denies the allegation in paragraph 25 of the complaint. The plaintiff blocked defendant on social media accounts for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Delirious denies the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 25 of the complaint. So he's basically saying like he blocked me, but I still stand by what I said. I didn't, did admit to anything regarding that, so let's see. We'll go to 26 now. So it says, in retaliation, Delirious began a malicious campaign to paint plaintiff in a false light in the online streaming community and destroy Ohm's reputation. So we see here, he says he outright denies that, right? Delirious says he basically says he denies each of the allegations in paragraph 26. So we have 27 of the original complaint. Now it says, upon information and belief, Delirious became obsessed with stalking and defaming Ohm and causing him severe emotional distress, to which he denies that outright. Now we have 28, where he says, upon information and belief, Delirious has created numerous new accounts under false names, fake profiles to harass Ohm and to post defamatory statements about plaintiff, right? And he says defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 28 of the complaint that defendant created numerous new accounts under false names, fake profiles with the purpose to harass plaintiff and post defamatory statements about plaintiff. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 28 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So what he's basically saying is, it wasn't for that intent, even though that's still what happened, right? Let's see. So 29. It says on May 16, 2021, Twitter user Ryan83999, whatever, suspected to be defendant, posted threatening to expose a compromising video of plaintiff and a woman from 16 years prior. So you see here 29, defendant denies allegation in paragraph 29 of the complaint suspected to be defendant for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Defendant cannot admit or deny the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 29 of the complaint as they are unintelligible as written. Interesting. That's an interesting way to address that, right? So on May 17th, Twitter user Hopper981, suspected to be Delirious, began direct messaging plaintiff's Twitter followers and the following statement. He has a release sex tape that he made long ago. He received so much hate from the phone calls because they said she was underage. He is not a good person, to which, he admits that one, right? We know about that. He has admitted that one on several occasions, right? You see it here. Defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 30 of the complaint. The Twitter user Hopper91 sent a single private direct message to a fellow gamer. So you see how specific he's being. And defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 30 of the complaint to the extent that the quoted language therein consists of selectively edited portions of the aforementioned direct message. Defendant denies the allegations in paragraph 30 of the complaint that Twitter user Hopper981 began direct messaging plaintiff's Twitter followers. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 30 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So now we go on to 31. All right, hopefully we can get through this kind of quick because it's kind of... We got to go point by point, folks. Oh, Dev, thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Question, is this a jury or judge trial? Well, so far, we don't know because it hasn't gone to that. It hasn't gone to that yet, right? So, really, this is not, more than likely, if it does go to trial, it'll be a jury trial because that's what Ohm wants. So if the judge, after whatever hearings that they end up having, because now it's up to the judge to decide whether or not she's going to deny the motion for reconsideration on Delirious' side. If she does that, then the next step would be, I would assume, would be them having some hearing and probably going that next step of either setting up something equivalent to a CMC, which is a case management conference, or it'll be them, it could be that before even that, it's possible that a side might want to settle. Who knows? Maybe one side decides, you know what, we don't want to take it that far. Let's talk about something. They do that. A couple different things could happen before then, but I would think that, again, I don't know what Illinois, if Illinois does a CMC, I would assume they do something that's an equivalent to a CMC though, prior to them going the next steps. It's then, them preparing stuff to see. So then it'll be, what'll happen is if it looks like it's probably going to go towards a jury trial, there'll be a deposition set and things like that. Then there'll be a date expected for them to turn in their discovery on each other. And stuff like that. There'll be certain dates set for different parts leading up to stuff. So like I said, unless somebody decides, oh, this is too rich for my blood, I'm just gonna cut my losses or whatever, right? So we'll continue on here. Let's see. So let's go back to it here real quick. All right. So let's make sure. So 31. On May 23rd, 2021, Ohm engaged in an interview on a YouTube channel called Drama Alert and mentioned that he had heard allegations of Delirious having sexual engagement with minors and releasing RP. So this is interesting, right? I don't know why. So he denies each of the allegations in paragraph 31 for the complaint of lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So it's basically, I think it's more directed at what was being accused, maybe. I mean, because I think you could still agree that, yeah, Ohm did, engage in that interview. So that's kind of weird, but we'll go on here. Then we have 32 in response. Delirious posted false and defamatory statements to his 4.4 million follower audience on his main Twitter account regarding plaintiff. Now that, right, we see here, it's interesting. Defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 32 of the complaint that he posted statements to his 4.4 million follower audience on his main account regarding plaintiff in response to plaintiff's false and defamatory public accusations and allegations made against Delirious. Delirious denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 32 of the complaint. So basically what this is saying is that, I did respond to him. Right? But it wasn't in a defamatory manner. It was just in regards to what he said about me, but it wasn't, he's basically not admitting to it necessarily being defamatory, right? So you have here on May 23rd, right? 2021, defendant published the following on his Twitter account, right? Screw Ohm, that manipulative piece of shit. He's not the same. He claims all his lies and twists because two groups decided they didn't want to play games with him. Allegedly did the same thing to Markiplier. Constantly had Ohm in my messages every day with some crazy questions and paranoia or blaming me when it wasn't my game sessions because people didn't like him. And this is what he does. So let me see. Delirious posted several screenshots of edited conversations with plaintiff and basically stated plaintiff was engaged in blackmailing Delirious. So we see here that Delirious says, yeah, I did say those things. Defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 33A and 33B of the complaint to the extent that the quoted language therein consists of edited portions of posts published by defendant on his Twitter account on May 23rd, 2021, made in reaction to plaintiff's false public accusations against Delirious. Delirious admits the allegation in paragraph 33C of the complaint. The defendant posted several screenshots of edited conversations with plaintiff. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 33 of the complaint. So he's like, yeah, I did respond and I did say shit back to him, essentially. So now we have 34 here. It says on May 26, 2021, defendant published the following on his Twitter account. Ohm edits his own videos and saves things he can use against friends later on, as you can tell from his last tweet. Stay away from him, in my opinion. Ohm is currently showing all creators and streamers why you should not play with Ohmwrecker. He will save everything no matter what. Stay away from him. This is Ohm. He's conniving, petty, and completely obsessed with us. I just want him to leave me and my family alone. You haven't even seen the cartoons group side of craziness. I'm sure everyone has a book of his rantings in their DMs that he's played with. No matter what he is not someone to connect with, in my opinion. Delirious posted, you get the picture of how crazy the guy is, with a screenshot of a conversation where Ohm and where Delirious statements were deleted so that it appeared Ohm was talking to himself. So we see here, right, in regards to that, he says, defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 34A through 34E of the complaint to the extent that the quoted language therein consists of edited portions of posts published by defendant on his Twitter account on May 26, 2021, made in reaction to plaintiff's false public accusations against defendant. Defendant denies the allegation in paragraph 34E of the complaint. The defendant's statements were deleted, so it appeared plaintiff was talking to himself. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in in paragraph 34 of the complaint. So basically, he admits to the fact, I tweeted all that stuff, but the whole thing of him saying that I deleted stuff to make it seem like he was talking to himself is not true. And if anybody's ever, and that's one of those things, it's just like, who knows? Because it's like, you know, I can, you know, I can, you know, I could believe that what he's saying is true, that he didn't really have to delete anything there. Just saying. So let's see. So it says, so for 35 now, it says, soon after, beginning in May of 2021, several women approached Ohm regarding Delirious' relationships with them as minors. So he says, so he basically denies this. You know, Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 35, the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. And we go on to 36. It says, specifically, the females advised Ohm that defendant had sexual exchanges with them, including being groomed and manipulated into sending Delirious nude photos, videos, and video chats while they were minors. Of course, you know, Delirious denies this unequivocally. Says he denies each of the allegations in paragraph 36 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So we go on here. For 37, these individuals provided Ohm with evidence to support their claims, including the reports submitted to the FBI. Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 37 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. And that's something we've heard a lot too, right? And there was police reports and all this stuff filed with the FBI. We'll see if any of that comes to light in a recent filing. Not that that proves anything, just because anybody can file a report, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that you filing a report makes it true. But we'll see. We'll see if they actually went that extra step or not. Let's see. So 38, on June 8th, 2021, Delirious published the following on his Twitter account: "Stop harassing people you don't know, asking questions about me. You're scaring people with your manipulative speech pattern." He's DMing people he doesn't know to get any info he can to try to hurt people with. They said he sounded so manipulative. So of course, Delirious backs this up. He says, yeah, he admits the allegations, paragraph 30 of the complaint, that on June 8th, defendant published on his Twitter account. H2O Delirious admits the allegations, paragraph 38 through 8 of the complaint, to the extent that the quoted language therein consists of edited portions of posts published by Delirious on his Twitter account, made in reaction to Ohm's false public accusations against Delirious. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 38 of the complaint. So we go on. So for the 39, it said, Delirious continued posting blatantly defamatory statements regarding plaintiff and statements to portray plaintiff in a false light. He denies each of those allegations. Delirious denies those. So then we have on June 18th, 2021, Twitter user Ohm Lied, later renamed to DM Me for Truth, confirmed to be defendant, posted the following. A plaintiff was getting death threat calls about a sex tape he leaked on a torrent site. They were saying the girl he had sex with was underage. Look it up. He tried so hard to hide the tape. I'm telling anyone who tweets them, Omrecker manipulated everyone. Right? To which, and we know about this, right? For number 40, to which, he admits the allegations in paragraph 40 of the complaint that on June 18th, 2021, we know about this also because of the Liz Katz video. So that he basically admits to doing this. So let's see. So 41, on July 13th, 2021, plaintiff through his counsel sent a cease and desist letter to Delirious, informing the defendant's actions were inflicting severe emotional distress and promoting harassment of plaintiff and persons related to plaintiff. The letter demanded the defendant do the following: A, immediately cease and desist from publishing or republishing any defamatory statements regarding plaintiff, including engaging in any direct messages or chats with such statements. B, immediately withdraw and retract every defamatory statement defendant posted regarding plaintiff and publicly clarify that such statements were false. C, immediately cease and desist from publishing private information regarding plaintiff and persons related to plaintiff. D, immediately cease and desist from promoting harassment of plaintiff. And E, publish a statement instructing Delirious' fans to immediately cease threatening Ohm and persons related to Ohm. And then we see here, what we have here, he says he admits the allegations in paragraph 41 of the complaint that on July 13th, plaintiff through counsel. So he's saying, yeah, I did receive a cease and desist letter from Ohm, which this is interesting, right? Which Ohm omitted was in direct response to Delirious' initial cease and desist letter sent to plaintiff on June 20th, 2021. So basically, he's saying, yeah, I did receive a cease and desist, but yeah, I sent him one first. Basically, this is what this boils down to. It's like I did send him I sent him a cease and desist letter first. He sent me one after. So it says here also, Delirious further admits the allegations of plaintiff's letter demanded the defendant do the demands set forth in paragraphs 41A through 41E. So he's basically, so this is just him saying, yeah, that his cease and desist letter did say those things. Delirious denies the remainder of the allegations contained in paragraph 41 of the complaint. So this is basically just him saying, yeah, he sent me a cease and desist letter, but he conveniently leaves out the fact that I sent them one first, which I would assume, had more or less a lot of the same language, right? So we go on to 42. It says, the letter specified that the aforementioned demands applied to accounts created by defendant under false names. So what Delirious says here is he admits the allegations in paragraph 42 of the complaint as to demands made in the plaintiff's cease and desist letter, but denies the implied allegation that any such demands were proper, sufficient, or valid. Interesting. So then we have 43, which was the letter also included a demand to preserve evidence, including all documents, communications, social media postings, direct messages, and social media and messaging accounts created by defendant relating to the claims referenced by plaintiff, right? So defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 42 of the complaint as to demands in plaintiff's cease and desist letter, but denies the implied allegation that any such demands made by plaintiff were proper, sufficient, or valid. So basically, he's saying he received this letter, but here's the thing with this, right? So we see here where it says the letter also included a demand to preserve evidence, including all documents, communications, social media postings, direct messages, and social media messaging accounts created by Delirious relating to the claims referenced by Ohm. Here's the problem with that, right? He should have filed the lawsuit first. Because if Delirious did have anything that was incriminating, right, he was under no legal obligation to save it because he was not being sued at the time. So, if he had anything incriminating and did get rid of it, this cease and you coupling a cease and desist letter with that's not, it's just a cease and desist letter. It's telling you stop it doing that. You can't really make that demand of him. It's different when you file a lawsuit. Unless laws are different in Illinois or in Delirious' state that I'm just not aware of, but that's not really how that works to the best of my knowledge. Could be wrong, but you just sending a cease and desist letter saying, hey, listen, you need to save, tweets and DMs and emails that you're sending people and stuff like that. That's not going to take, like, that doesn't, because you send that with the cease and desist letter, as far as I know, that's not how cease and desist letters work. It's basically cease and desist letters, from my understanding, are basically just a warning of potential legal action being taken against you if you don't comply. Essentially, it's like, hey, listen, this is essentially a warning. Like, stop doing what you're doing, or we'll take you to court. Like, you can't I've never heard of anybody. This is the first, I think, time that I've heard of anybody trying to use a cease and desist letter to demand that somebody save evidence, so to speak. So that's unusual. First time I've ever seen that. So we'll continue on here. Let's go on here. All right, so number 44. So for 44, it says, defendant disregarded these demands and continued his campaign of stalking, defamation, and harassment against Ohm. Defendant denies the allegations in paragraph 44 of the complaint, so he just outright denies it. Let's see. Then it says for 45, Delirious also continued to delete evidence, including posts, messages, and accounts. Defendant denies the allegations in paragraph 45 of the complaint. The defendant also continued to delete evidence. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 45 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. He just outright denies that. And the thing is, but here's the thing, like I said, even if he did, right, he got a cease and desist letter. He didn't really have to. He wasn't being sued at that point. So even if he did, right, if that turns out to be true that he did, there's no, as far as I know, again, and I could be wrong, unless the laws are different in these states. It's entirely possible I'm wrong, but I don't believe so. That's not how cease and desist letters work. So, let me see. So we have our 46. It says on July 24, 2021, Twitter user The Truth 03927 suspected to be Delirious posted fabricated screenshots of messages from plaintiff to paint Ohm as a pred using blackmail to obtain nude photos from minor females. Some examples of these fabricated messages are as follows. Oh yeah, we remember this. These are the ones that these are the fake Discord DMs. The ones where, which I mean, you could see a mile away that these were fake. It didn't sound like Ohm. I remember me and Crow and Aura covered this on Crow Stream. We were just like, we just briefly talked about it. It was the one that said, A, for a 15-year-old, you have a nice body. B, you have to make me feel better now. The rules and the photos. No, actually send a video of this time. I want to hear your moans, moan my name. As you finger your tight, what? It will stop my depression. I won't want to die anymore. Effing do it. Or should I send the other photos to your school? Which, of course, Delirious outright denies doing this. And it hasn't been proven that he was the one behind it as of yet. So let me see. 47. So it says on August 12th, 2021, Twitter user Birdwatcher99 confirmed to be defendant. And we know that because, again, that was one of the ones that Liz Katz, I believe, also admitted was Delirious, right? Posted allegedly plaintiff uploaded porn to his own site and people found out it was his. He then received phone calls and harassment stating the girl in the video was underage, right? So then we have plaintiff admits the allegations in paragraph 47 of the complaint. On August 12, 2021, the defendant, using a short-term alternative account, Birdwatcher98, posted a response to another Twitter user. And the defendant admits that the quoted language therein consisted of selectively edited portion of a response post published by defendant made in reaction to plaintiff's false public accusations made against Delirious. Delirious denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 47 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So then we have on August 13th, same user, Birdwatcher, confirmed to be Delirious, posted the following. If you dig more into the sex tape story, you will find alleged allegations that she was underage in the tape. Defendant admits the allegations in paragraph 48 of the complaint. On August 13th, defendant using short-term alternative account Birdwatcher98 posted a response to the Twitter users, and defendant admits that the quoted language in paragraph 48A and 48B consist of selectively edited portions of response posts published by defendant made in reaction to plaintiff's false public accusations made against defendant. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 48 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So we'll go on to, let me see, number 49. which it says, upon information and belief, on September 2nd, 2021, defendant emailed several popular YouTube drama channels from Storm Susan 455 at yahoo.com with the following statements. Omrecker 666 sick and always has been, and he is so obsessed with people he won't leave them alone. Sometimes for over a decade, Omrecker in 2003 to 2005 was active on many unsavory forums, falsely implying plaintiff was on pedo forums. In 2005, he was accused of making and threatening to use RP against his ex-girlfriend. Goose was believed to be underage at the time. He was accused of using photos and videos he made of her and spreading them on torrent sites. So to that, we see here he admits the allegations. Defendant emailed several popular YouTube drama channels from this account, which that's something that I had said there wasn't any. I believe I said I didn't see any evidence of that. So here we go. This is the correction. Like I said, because I can do that. So apparently he was the Susan Storm account, right? So I did overlook this in response to the drama videos being put out about defendant by those same drama channels based on false accusations being spread online about defendant by plaintiff, and defendant admits to the allegations in paragraph 49A to 49C to the extent that the quoted language consists of selectively edited portion of defendant's email. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 49 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So we're getting through this. We're almost done. Let's see. So for number 50, it says on October 18th, 2021, Twitter user Pizza Pirate, which we also know this was Delirious because this was, again, one of the ones that Liz Katz basically, offered up on the silver platter, confirmed to be defendant, was direct messaging plaintiff's followers of the following: an image with plaintiff's face on a poster labeled anatomy of a manipulator with various descriptions of manipulative behavior, statement saying Ohm released a sex tape as RP and saying that video appears to be real. Also, the Ohm sex tape is out there. So, yep, he admits the allegation in paragraph 50 of the complaint that on October 18, 2021, defendant, using a short-term alternative account, Pizza Pirate 5, replied to Twitter users who were posting tweets about the defendant, and defendant admits that the allegation in paragraph 50A of the complaint of the one private direct message did include a pre-existing independently created image with Ohm's face on a poster labeled anatomy of a manipulator with various descriptions of manipulative behavior. Defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 50B of the complaint to the extent that the quoted language, the video appears to be real. Also, the Ohm sex tape is out there, does consist of selectively edited portion of language, including in one private direct message sent by defendant, but defendant denies the allegation in paragraph 50B of the complaint. The defendant made a statement saying plaintiff releases sex tape as RP. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 50 of the complaint for lack of sufficient information or knowledge. So here we have number 51 now. Upon information belief, Delirious published the aforementioned post without privilege or justification, which, he denies. He denies that. So here we have because I think probably they're just arguing, yeah, of course, in retaliation, know what was happening. So it's probably what they would argue. But the J's the fact that it happened, right? So it says for 52, defendant's aforementioned statements are false regarding Ohm, 1, having committed blackmail, 2, releasing RP, 3, having sexual relations with a minor, 4, uploading a sex tape with a minor, 5, having police reports against Delirious for stalking, and 6, stalking Delirious. So we have here, it says, he denies each of the allegations in paragraph 52 right here. So he's basically saying, I don't know. Yeah. For lack of sufficient knowledge or information. Then we have upon information and belief, defendant knew or should have known that the aforementioned statements were false. He denies. He's like, I don't know if they're basically, I don't know if they're true or not. That's basically what that is. Then we have defendant denies each of the allegations in paragraph 54 of the complaint, which 54 is upon information, belief, and aforementioned defamatory statements were made and published by defendant with actual malice and with knowledge that the statements were false, and with reckless disregard for the fact that they were false. So he's basically denying. He's like, no, I don't know. So then we have 55. Twitter conducted its own investigation, and several suspected fake profiles and defendants' main Twitter accounts were banned and taken down for violating Twitter rules. So he admits the allegations in paragraph 55 of the complaint that Twitter conducted its own investigation. Several short-term alternative accounts and defendants' main Twitter account were banned and taken down for allegedly violating Twitter rules. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 55 of the complaint. So he basically, what he's saying is, these accounts were allegedly taken down for violating those rules. Oh man, it's always funny to see like this stuff, So let's continue on here. So for number 56, it says a representative of Twitter confirmed that several of the fake profiles were created by defendant. And he says he basically is 56. He denies each of the allegations in paragraph 56 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So he's basically saying, I don't know. It's basically So 57, upon information and belief, Delirious recruited his girlfriend and mother of his children, Liz Katz, to also target Ohm on her social media platforms with the same disparaging and defamatory statements regarding Ohm, to which, not surprisingly, he denies it. So then we have number 58, which says Liz Katz is a model and former adult film actress with a large social media following. She has approximately 1.2 million followers on Instagram, 692,000 followers on Twitter, and 371,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, okay. I mean, it's entirely possible that he's not paying attention to what Liz does at all, but he just this is kind of funny. Delirious, denies. He's basically saying, right, in regards to his girlfriend having this follower account. Come on, we got to laugh at this. This is funny. That in regards to Liz having 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and all this, and maybe look, in fairness, maybe it's possible he doesn't know the exact number, and maybe that's what he's basing his denial on. Like, no, I don't know. He's basically like, I don't know. He's like, she's your girl, bro. You really don't know? You serious? It's funny. That's just hilarious. He doesn't know, guys. He doesn't know. Delirious doesn't know. He doesn't know his own girlfriend's following. Oh, that's great. Priceless. All right, let's continue on here. On November 8th, 2021, Liz Katz posted a YouTube video attempting to minimize Delirious' behavior and confirmed that several of the fake profiles were created by defendant. Interestingly, Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 59 of the complaint for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So this could be, all right, this is interesting, right? He knows that she did that, right? He knows that she did that, but it's entirely possible, right, that he didn't know that she was going to do that, right? And maybe that's probably the argument he would use in regards to using, denying this, right? Maybe not. That's just me being charitable, right? Then again, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know her following either. It's funny to me. I'm sorry. Okay, so for number 60, it says on November 8th, 2021, Delirious publicly commented on YouTube user TJV's live stream stating, I want someone to go and find Ohm's sex tape and ask Ohm about the police reports he's received long ago for stalking. TGV has approximately 81,500 subscribers, and the live stream video has approximately 17,700 views. So in regards to that, he admits this, right? Delirious admits this. in the complaint, he admits that he did this, right? Admits the quoted language in paragraph 60 consists of a selectively edited portion of a response comment published by defendant in direct response to the plaintiff's live chat comments about defendant, including Ohm accusing defendant of doing RP. Delirious denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 60 of the complaint for lack or sufficient information or knowledge. So now we go to 61. Ohm has never received any police reports for stalking, has never released RP, and had sexual relations with a minor. To which Delirious is like saying, he denies the allegations for lack of sufficient knowledge or information. So basically, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, right? Then we have 62 on January 25th, 2022. Twitter user Delirious, not suspected to be Delirious, posted Delirious is not banned because he was showing people your past, but you, the internet Karen, reported him because you don't want people knowing your own past of being a racist and talking and pedo chats in old forms and releasing a sex tape when someone wouldn't talk to you. To which 62, Delirious does admit that this was him, right? Admits the allegation, paragraph 62 of the complaint. Twitter user Delirious not posted the quoted language contained therein, which was in direct response to a post made by plaintiff on the same date in which plaintiff falsely accused Delirious of being a predator. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegation in paragraph 62 of the complaint for lack of sufficient information or knowledge. So he's admitting to it being him, but he's basically trying to say it was essentially in retaliation to what was being said about him. So we'll see how that flies for him. Then we have 63. It says the actions of Delirious set forth in the complaint demonstrate malice, egregious defamation, and insult. Such actions or omissions by Delirious were undertaken with reckless disregard of the falsity of the speech and its effects on Ohm, to which Delirious denies that. And then we have 64. The aforementioned defamatory statements published by defendant have caused plaintiff to suffer embarrassment, humiliation, mental anguish, and severe emotional distress. To which, Delirious denies. The aforementioned defamatory statements, this is number 65 now, published by Delirious have also caused Ohm's reputation and character within his profession, and industry, including but not limited to among his fans and with prospective business relations such as sponsors, to which, of course, Delirious denies that. The aforementioned, this is number 66 now, the aforementioned defamatory statements published by Delirious have negatively impacted Ohm's reputation in the streaming community and deterred the streaming community from associating with him. To which, of course, number 66, he also denies that. Delirious denies that. As a result of Delirious's conduct, Ohm has lost many sponsorship opportunities and collaboration opportunities with other streamers. Many of plaintiff's business partners and friends now refuse to collaborate with Ohm due to Delirious's defamatory and degrading statements, which paint Ohm in a false light. To which, of course, Delirious denies that. Then we have number 68. Ohm has lost a significant amount of subscribers, followers, viewership, and income due to Delirious's conduct. Delirious denies that. 69. Additionally, it says here, additionally, Delirious's conduct has caused many death threats and threats of violence towards Ohm and persons related to Ohm, causing Ohm to fear for his safety. Delirious denies that. So count one on the false light. We have here number 70. As of this day, Delirious has not issued any sort of retraction or repudiation of the defamatory or damaging statements. So Delirious says, Delirious admits that the allegation of paragraph 70 of the complaint that he has not issued any sort of retraction or repudiation of any statements. He's basically saying, yeah, I haven't offered any retraction or repudiation. That's true. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 70. It's just like, he's basically saying, yeah, I haven't offered any retraction or repudiation. So it says here for 71. says Ohm repeats and realleges by reference of the allegations of paragraphs 1 through 71 as if fully set forth herein. Delirious says he incorporates the admissions and denials contained in paragraphs 1 through 70 of the answer above. So he's basically saying, I'm admitting to what I'm admitting to, but I'm also denying what I'm denying. Then we have 72. It says, upon information and belief by publishing and communicating the false allegations in the manner described above, Delirious portrayed Ohm in a false light, intending to cause Ohm injury, to which, of course, Delirious denies that. Then we have, for 73, it says, defendant intentionally intruded upon the solitude and or seclusion of plaintiff and his private affairs and or concerns, and this intrusion which falsely portrays Ohm as a manipulative, a predator, a pedophile, a criminal, and lacking integrity in his profession. Delirious denies that. Then we have 74 says this portrayal of Ohm is highly offensive to a reasonable person. Delirious denies each of the allegations in paragraph 74 of the complaint for lack of sufficient information or knowledge. So he's basically saying, I don't know. Let's see. Then we have it says here, Delirious's aforementioned statements are false regarding Ohm being 1, manipulative, 2, lacking integrity in his profession, 3, being a predator, 4, being a pedophile, 5, having committed blackmail, 6, releasing revenge, RP, 7, having sexual relations with a minor, 8, uploading a sex tape with a minor, 9, having police reports against Ohm for stalking, and 10, stalking Delirious. So, of course, Delirious says he's basically denying it, doesn't know. It's like, I don't know. And then, so I'll try to get through the rest of these, but it looks like from 76 pretty much down to, let's see. I guess to the last one is 89, or is there a 90? Let me see. Yeah, 90. Dang, okay. So all the way, it looks like he denies and says, I don't know, essentially. I guess we'll go down him here, but we were at 76. Upon information belief, Delirious knew these statements were false and made no attempt to verify the veracity of these statements made regarding Ohm. So that was number 76. A lot of these are just going to be, the ones I'm going to rattle off here are basically going to be ones that he just outright denies, or like I said, or says he doesn't know, basically. We have number 78. Upon information and belief, Delirious false statements were generated and communicated with actual malice, told in disregard for the truth and in complete absence of any special privilege. He denies it. Delirious statements were intended to characterize Ohm as dangerous and to impute a want of integrity in Ohm's profession and business. He denies it. Delirious denies it. Delirious' statements placed Ohm in a false light in the community. Delirious denies it. Delirious statements were intended to and have caused harm to Ohm's reputation in a very tight-knit video game streaming community. Of course, Delirious denies this. As a direct and proximate result of Delirious' conduct, Ohm has suffered damages in an amount to be proven at trial. Delirious denies this. 83. Upon information belief, Delirious did not engage in any of the aforementioned conduct out of any sincere or proper motive or in any manner governed by reasonable and ministerial conduct according to any job duty, but did so knowingly, willfully, and oppressively with full knowledge of the adverse effects that his actions would have on Ohm, and with willful and deliberate disregard for the consequences. Accordingly, Ohm is entitled to recover punitive damages from defendants in the amount to be determined at trial, which of course is denied by Delirious. Then we have 84. Upon information, belief, actions, or omissions of Delirious set forth in this complaint demonstrate malice, egregious defamation, and insult. Delirious denies this. Then we have 85. Such actions or omissions by defendants were undertaken with reckless disregard of the falsity of the speech and its effects on plaintiff. Delirious denies this. Then we have 86. Ohm is entitled to general and special damages for the following: harm, emotional distress, and impairment to his name, character, and reputation. the foregoing resulted in a significant reduction in plaintiff's viewership, sponsorships, opportunities, collaboration opportunities, and income, which, of course, not surprisingly, Delirious denies this. OM requests an award of punitive damages and attorney's fees beyond in excess of those damages necessary to compensate plaintiff for injuries resulting from Delirious's conduct. Delirious, of course, denies this, basically saying, I don't know, right? The sufficient information, right? Then we have, plaintiff requests an order permanently adjoining Delirious and all his respective agents, employees, representatives, successors, assigns, attorneys, and all of the persons acting for, with, by, through, or under authority by Delirious or in concert or participation with Delirious from making, disseminating, broadcasting, or publishing any statements that plaintiff, 1, being manipulative, 2, lacking integrity in his profession, 3, being predator, 4, being a pedophile, 5, having committed blackmail, 6, releasing RP, 7, having sexual relations with the minor, 8, uploading a sex tape with the minor, 9, having police reports against plaintiff for stalking, 10, stalking defendant, which Delirious basically says, he denies it, but he's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what this is all about, essentially. Then we have, additionally, this is for 89. Additionally, plaintiff requests an order requiring Delirious to remove in full all posted messages with defamatory and disparaging statements made regarding plaintiff, right? Defendant denies each of the allegations, paragraph 89, for lack of sufficient information or knowledge. Then we have for the count 2 of defamation per se, which for 90, it says plaintiff repeats and realleges by reference in allegations of paragraphs 1 through 90 as fully set forth herein, which Delirious incorporates the admissions and denials contained in paragraphs 1 through 70 and 72 through 89 of the answer above. Basically, admitted to, I deny what I deny. And we're almost through this, folks. Let's see. And then we'll have a little bit of discussion here in the chat, and then we'll close it out. But let's get through this here. So, because as you can see, a lot of these are just him. He's going to deny basically from 91 to 101. He's going to deny these. So it says, upon information and belief as set forth above, Delirious has intentionally falsely portrayed Ohm as a pedophile, a criminal, and lacking integrity in his profession. And this is and this portrayal is highly offensive to a reasonable person. Delirious denies this, right? Then we got 92. Upon information belief, Delirious knew these statements to be false. Denies. 93. Upon information belief, Delirious made no attempt to verify the veracity of the statements made regarding plaintiff or Ohm. In this case, he denies. Delirious denies. Upon information belief, Delirious false statements were generated and communicated with actual malice, total disregard for the truth, and in complete absence of any special privilege. Delirious denies. Delirious statements were intended and having caused harm to plaintiff's reputation in a very tight-knit video game streaming community. Of course, denies. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's conduct, Ohm has suffered damages in the amount to be proven at trial, which, of course, 96, you can see right there, denies. 97, upon information and belief, Delirious did not engage in any of the aforementioned conduct out of any sincere or proper motive or in any manner governed by reasonable and ministerial conduct according to any job duty, but did so knowingly, willfully, and oppressively with full knowledge of the adverse effects that his actions would have on Ohm, and with willful and deliberate disregard for the consequences. Accordingly, Ohm is entitled to recover punitive damages from defendants in the amount to be determined at trial. I don't know why it says defendants. He's only named Delirious in the lawsuit. So it's interesting that there's a couple typos here where they said defendant a couple times. But of course, deny, right? Upon information belief, the actions or omissions of Delirious is set forth in this complaint demonstrate malice, egregious defamation, and insult. Delirious denies such actions or omissions by defendant were undertaken with reckless disregard of the falsity of the speech and its effects on Ohm. He denies this. Delirious does. Plaintiff is entitled to general and special damages for the following: harm and emotional distress and impairment to his name, character, and reputation. The foregoing resulted in a significant reduction of plaintiff's viewership, sponsorship opportunities, and income. Delirious denies. Once again, plaintiff requests an award of punitive damages and attorney fees beyond and in excess of those damages necessary to compensate Ohm for injuries resulting from Delirious's conduct, which he's like, nah. Basically says no. He's like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Right. That's for 101. Now we have for 102. It says, additionally, plaintiff requests an order permanently enjoining Delirious and all his respective agents and players representatives. Is basically reasserting the same thing as before, right? Let me see it. Let me get back to his respective agents, players, representatives, successors, assigns, attorneys, and all other persons acting for, with, or by, through, or under authority by Delirious or in any concert or participation with defendant for making, disseminating, broadcasting, or publishing any statements that plaintiff, 1, lacking integrity in his profession, 2, being a pedophile, 3, having committed blackmail, releasing RP, 5, having sexual relations with the minor, 6, uploading sex tape with the minor, 7, having police reports against plaintiff for stalking, and 8, stalking defendant. Additionally, plaintiff requests an order requiring Delirious to remove in full all posts and messages with defamatory and disparaging statements made regarding Ohm, which you can see for 102 he says I don't know, and for 103 he says I don't know, but basically is just denying, right? Then we have for 104, count 3, which is the defamation count, right? Where it says Ohm repeats and realleges by reference of the allegations in paragraph 1 through 103 as fully set forth herein, which of course, as we know, 104, Delirious is, incorporates his admissions and denials essentially. Then we go on to 105. We're almost done, folks. And then, like I said, we'll get into a brief discussion here before I call it a stream. And we have 105. Upon information belief as set forth above, Delirious has intentionally falsely portrayed Ohm as a pedophile criminal and lacking integrity in his profession, and this portrayal is highly offensive to a reasonable person, which Delirious denies. It says 106. Upon information and belief, Delirious knew these statements to be false. Delirious denies that. 107. Upon information and belief, Ohm made no. Delirious made no attempt to verify the veracity of these statements made regarding plaintiff, to which, he denies it. Delirious denies it. We have 108. Upon information and belief, Delirious' false statements were generated and communicated with actual malice, total disregard for the truth, and in complete absence of any special privilege. He denies that. Delirious statements were intended and have caused harm to plaintiff's reputation in the very tight-knit video game streaming community. Of course, he denies that. 110, as a direct and proximate result of Delirious' conduct, plaintiff has suffered damages in the amount to be proven at trial. As you can see, 110, Delirious denies it. 111, upon information and belief, Delirious did not engage in any of the aforementioned conduct out of any sincere or proper motive or in any manner governed by reasonable and ministerial conduct according to any job duty, but did so knowingly, willfully, and oppressively with full knowledge of the adverse effects that his actions would have on plaintiff and with willful and deliberate disregard for the consequences. Accordingly, plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damages from defendant in an amount to be determined at trial. Delirious denies. Upon information and belief, the actions, we're on 112 now. It says, upon information and belief, the actions or omissions of defendant set forth in this complaint demonstrate malice, egregious defamation, and insult. He denies. Such actions or omissions by Delirious were undertaken with reckless disregard of the falsity of the speech and its effect on the plaintiff. Delirious denies. Ohm is entitled to general and special damages. This is 114 now. For the following: harm of emotional distress and impairment to his name, character, and reputation. The foregoing resulted in a significant reduction in plaintiff's viewership, sponsorship opportunities, and income. Delirious denies. So let's see. Jeez, I think we're almost done. I hope we're almost done. Okay. Now we're at 115. Plaintiff requests an award of punitive damages and attorney's fees beyond in excess of those damages necessary to compensate Ohm for injuries resulting from defendant's conduct. he denies. He's basically saying, I don't know, but denying it. And these are going to be the kind of I don't know. Denies, just kind of like So here we have. I think we're almost done. Jeez, this is. It's a lot. There's one thing I hate about these freaking filings. It's a lot of it is this really get like really repetitive and stuff like this. I understand why they do it. They're trying to be as specific. It's for to be as specific as possible, but it's really really tedious. It's the one thing I don't care about when going over these things. Let me see. 116. Additionally, requests an order permanently joining defendant and all his respective agents, employees, representatives, successors, assigns, attorneys, and all other persons acting for, with, by, through, or under authority by Delirious or in concert or participation with Delirious from making, disseminating, broadcasting, or publishing any statements that Ohm is 1, lacking in integrity in his profession, 2, being a pedophile, 3, having committed blackmail, 4, releasing RP, 5, having sexual relations with a minor, 6, uploading a sex tape with a minor, 7, having police reports against plaintiff against Ohm for stalking, 8, stalking Delirious. He, of course, once again, he's just like, I don't know about that. 117. Additionally, Ohm requests an order requiring Delirious remove in full all posted messages with defamatory and disparaging statements made regarding Ohm, which he's saying, yeah, I don't know about that. So here we have tortious interfering with prospective economic advantage. So 118, it says plaintiff repeats and realleges by reference the allegation in paragraph 1 through 116. 1 through 116 as set forth herein. Of course, again, same thing. Admits to what he admits to, denies what he denies. So we'll go 119. Plaintiff had a reasonable expectation of entering into a valid business relationship with various sponsors and other video game streamers. So it says here, 119, he denies it because he's just kind of like, I don't know about that, essentially. I don't know. Then we have 120. It says Delirious new plaintiff had valid business relationships with notable sponsors such as Branded Entertainment Network Company, Ubisoft Company, Electric Arts Entertainment, Epic Games Incorporated, and Warner Brother Games. It says Delirious admits the allegation in paragraph 120 of the complaint that Delirious new plaintiff had business relationship with sponsors. He denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraphs 1, 2, 3, in paragraph 120 of the complaint for lack of sufficient information or knowledge. So basically what he's saying is like, I know he has sponsors, but he's basically saying, I don't know who. He's basically trying to say like, I know that he had sponsors, but as far as who they were specifically, I don't know. So then we have 121, or like I said, that's what I take from that, right? From that denial. So for 121, it says defendant knew of Ohm's expectancy to enter into such business relationships. He's basically saying, he denies that he didn't know that, right? Then we have Delirious was, for 122, Delirious was aware that Ohm expected such business relationships as Delirious is in the same line of business as Ohm and is familiar with video game streaming business model and the sponsorship process. To which, you see here in 122, Delirious admits the allegation in paragraph 122 of the complaint that defendant is in the same line of business as plaintiff and is familiar with the video game streaming business model and sponsorship process. Defendant denies the remainder of the allegations in paragraph 122. So he's basically saying like, yeah, I know that we're in the same line of business, so it's the same expectations. So we have 123. Delirious has also worked jointly with Ohm on certain streamers and sponsors, Ohm and certain streamers and sponsors in the past, included Brand Entertainment Network Company and Epic Games Incorporated. So we see here 123. Delirious submits the allegation in paragraph 123 of the complaint of the defendant. The plaintiff both worked with certain streamers and sponsors in the past, including Brand Entertainment Network and Epic Games Incorporated. The defendant denies the remainder of the allegations of paragraph 123. So what he's saying is, obviously, yeah, we have worked with those companies before in the past. I have worked with him and those companies in the past. Now we have 124. Ohm also informed Delirious regarding his expectancy of his business relationships with aforementioned sponsors. He denies that. So it's basically, it comes down to saying, like I said before, he admits to the fact, I'm sure he had sponsors, as far as specifically who those sponsors were. I don't know. Right. But he'll say, yeah, but we did work with 2 together. Right. So then we have, all right. So it says here okay. All right. Give me 1 sec. Let's fix this up here. All right. Let's go back to this real quick. All right. Let me make sure this is fixed here. All right. Let's go back for a moment. Go back to the first one here. All right. Give me 1 second. Why is it not working? Hold on. Give me a sec. There we go. All right. So, all right. There we go. All right. I'm trying to fix this. Why is this doing this? So these are the Susan Storm emails from the previous thing that were sent out. Let me go back here though. There we go. All right. So let's see. For 124. He denies. 125, he denies. So 125, 125, Delirious purposely interfered with Ohm's legitimate business expectancies and prevented such relationships from ripening into a valid business relationship through his defamatory and false statements regarding Ohm being manipulative, 2, lacking integrity in his profession, 3, being pred, 4, being a pedophile, 5, having committed blackmail, 6, releasing RP, 7, having sexual relations with a minor, 8, uploading a sex tape with a minor, 9, having police reports against Ohm for stalking, and 10, stalking Delirious, which, as you can see, denies it. So let me see how many more of these there are. All right. Hold on. Let's go back to this. All right. Yeah, so basically, from it looks like 124. So some of them are, again, he denies. It's a lot of the same. Hold on. Let me go. All right. So as we see here, we'll go back to this one real quick. See upon information relief. Let me see. Delirious directly contacted at least one sponsor, several video game streamers, and many of the plaintiff's followers with the aforementioned defamatory and degrading statements regarding Ohm, painting Ohm in a false light in order to interfere with Ohm's reasonable expectation of business relations. Okay, so as you can see here, he wait, where is it? My bad, I went down too far. He denies. Hold on, I want to get to 129. That's the one I want to get to see why it says lack of sufficient evidence. So it says, okay. So let's see, 127. As a direct and proximate result of Delirious' conduct, plaintiff has suffered damages in the amount proven to be at trial. He denies. Plaintiff is entitled to general and special damages of the following harm: emotional distress, impairment of his name, character, and reputation. The foregoing resulted in a significant reduction to Ohm's viewership, sponsorship opportunities, and income, which he appears to say, he denies that. And then in 129, it says, Ohm requests an award of punitive damages, fees beyond in excess of those damages necessary to compensate Ohm for injuries resulting from Delirious' conduct, which he's like, don't know. 130. Additionally, plaintiff requests an order permanently adjoining the defendant and all his respective agents. We know what this says. It's just basically the same thing over again, which of course, he's just like, nah. It's like, I don't know about that. So then we have 131, same as always, denies what he denies, admits what he admits. So we'll go to 132. As set forth above, defendant's conduct is extreme and outrageous, which again denies. Let's get to 135. I'll get through these real quick. 133 and so 133, defendant knew that his conduct inflicts severe emotional distress, or knew that there was at least a high probability that his conduct will cause severe emotional distress. He denies that. As at all relevant times herein, defendant was aware that plaintiff suffers from depression and anxiety disorders, including panic disorder with agoraphobia. To which we see here, it says, he denies that. And then we go to 135. It says, defendant was aware of the plaintiff's career in streaming and has enabled him to have a career while working from home. To which he said, Delirious admits the allegation in paragraph 135. The complaint that defendant was aware of plaintiff's career in streaming allowed him to work from home. He's saying, yeah, I knew that he could work from home because of that. Denies anything else, though. But saying, like, yeah, that's true. Then we have 136, which says, despite knowing plaintiff suffers from debilitating anxiety, Delirious began a malicious campaign to damage and destroy Ohm's reputation and career and to cause him severe emotional distress. That's 136. 137, Delirious has engaged in outrageous behavior, including but not limited to promoting harassment and stalking of plaintiff and persons related to plaintiff to his 4.4 million Twitter followers, falsely accusing Ohm of being a pedophile criminal and lacking integrity in his profession, and taunting Ohm publicly regarding his anxiety disorders. To which we see here, just an outright, let me see, pretty much just an outright denial of that. So we'll go down here to 138. Upon information and belief, Delirious encouraged his fans' threats of violence against plaintiff and or even repeatedly assisted his fans in getting access to plaintiff's home address. Of course, he denies this. Right? It says right here. It's just where's 138? Okay, yeah. Upon information and belief, yeah. All right, so yeah, see right here, just outright denies it, and then almost done with this grading stuff. So we have 139. As a result, plaintiff has received threats of violence against himself, his dog, and his girlfriend. To which, he denies each of the allegations. Then we have one of the defendant's followers even stated that he was contemplating if it was worth going to prison for going after plaintiff. See here that he denies that. He doesn't know anything about that. That's basically what Delirious is saying. Then we have Delirious' behavior and portrayal of plaintiff is highly offensive to a reasonable person. Plaintiff has suffered, this is 142 now, plaintiff has suffered severe emotional distress due to defendant's aforementioned conduct. Then we have 143, defendant's conduct is the direct and proximate cause of Ohm's severe emotional distress. Delirious' conduct has significantly increased Ohm's depression, anxiety, and symptoms from his disorders, which I'm sure he's going to deny and say, like, I don't know anything about that. So we're up to 144, as you can see. It just denies. Then we have, this is not, hold on. Let me get back to, let's put this back over here. All right, go to that one. There we go. Hold on. Let me move this so I can get this back over here. That'll be easier. There we go. Where are we at? God, this is so monotonous. This is what I hate about freaking court filings. Yeah, so he denies that 144 defendant's conduct has significantly increased. Okay, he denied that. Ohm has also suffered intense feelings of humiliation, despair resulting from defendant's conduct. You see here, he just denies that. Ohm is now in constant fear for his safety and safety of persons associated with plaintiff. Denies, for lack. He's like, I don't know anything about that, essentially. Then we have 147. Plaintiff now rarely leaves his house due to his increased anxiety and fear for his safety, which again, he's denies that. It's like, I don't know anything about that. 148. Ohm's ability to sleep has been impaired to an extreme degree, with Ohm being unable to sleep occasionally for several days at a time. He basically is saying, yeah, I don't know anything about that. Then we have 149. Ohm's severe emotional distress caused by Delirious' conduct has also impaired his ability to work and post content as frequently as he did prior to defendant's attack on plaintiff, which of course he denies that. As a direct and proximate result of Delirious' conduct, Ohm has suffered damages in the amount proven to be proven at trial. 151. Plaintiff is entitled to general and special damages for the following: harm, severe emotional distress, impairment to his name, character, and reputation. The foregoing result in a significant reduction in plaintiff's viewership, sponsorship opportunities, and income. Of course, we're just going to get denials here of all this, right? 152. He wants to be awarded damages. Additionally, Ohm requests an order to permanently join. We've seen this one before, which of course, he's basically, I don't know anything about that. He's basically saying, so now we have, there we go. That's pretty much the end of this. And just what they, this was Delirious' filing for this. The complainant, each day every count thereof, fails to state facts are sufficient to constitute a cause of action against Delirious. Delirious is informed and believes, and based upon such information, belief alleges that Ohm has engaged in certain conduct as a result of which this action and each and every cause of action asserted therein is barred by the doctrine of waiver. Delirious is informed and believes, and is based upon such information, belief asserts that any and all statements and comments complained of in Ohm's complaint attributed to defendant in any are and were not false statements of fact. Fourth affirmative defense. Delirious is informed and believes, and based upon such information, belief alleges that Ohm has engaged in certain conduct as a result of which this action and each and every cause of action therein is barred by the doctrine of estoppel. 5. So fifth affirmative action, unclean hands. Delirious is informed and believes, and based upon such information, belief alleges that Ohm has engaged in certain conduct as a result of which this action and each and every cause of action therein is barred by the doctrine of unclean hands. Sixth affirmative defense. Latches. Defendant is informed and believes, and based upon the information, belief alleges that plaintiff has delayed an unreasonable period of time in bringing this action, which delay has substantially prejudiced Delirious. Consequently, the present action and each and every cause of action therein is barred by the doctrine of laches. Failure to mitigate. Delirious is informed and believes, and based upon such information, belief alleges that Ohm has failed to make reasonable efforts to mitigate its damages if any, in whole or in part. Eighth affirmative defense, no proximate cause. Delirious is not liable for any purported damages alleged in the complaint for the reason that any such damages are not the direct or proximate result of any act or omission of Delirious. Delirious is informed and believes, based upon such information, belief alleged that any award of damages to Ohm is an action that would make him unjustly enriched, and therefore any recovery is barred. 10th affirmative defense, statute of limitations. Defendant is informed and believes, and based upon such information, belief allege that this action is barred by the applicable statute of limitations. Then we have 11th affirmative defense. Equitable estoppel. Plaintiff is equitable estoppel stopped from bringing the claims enumerated in the complaint. 12th affirmative defense. Lack of personal jurisdiction. The complaint and each and every count thereof should be dismissed because the court lacks personal jurisdiction over defendant who is a resident of the state of North Carolina. And we have 13 affirmative defense. Due to lack of information as the matters set forth in the complaint, defendant has insufficient knowledge or information of which to form a belief as to whether additional yet unstated affirmative defenses are available. Defendant therefore reserves the right to assert such additional defenses in the event the discovery indicates that such additional defenses are proper. So there we have it. This is pretty much the end. of the document here. So now we'll just have like a little bit of discussion. Then I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream because damn, that was a lot of shit. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. So now we know. Look, now we have a clear line of what has been outlined, like what is directly admitted to, what is still being denied, right? And we'll see if there's any more evidence that comes out in future filings, or maybe if it goes as far as deposition and things like that. But there we have it, right? So now we have the record corrected, right? Where I said there was no, I didn't know about the Susan Storm filing, right? But there we have it, right? So Susan Storm was delirious, but I really wonder, how much things are really going to change. Let's say, hypothetically, right? Let's say all the, and I doubt that all the accounts, right? The accounts that were that all the alt accounts were just delirious. I'm sure there's plenty of other people jumping in on that, trying to also mess with them. But even if more are discovered to be delirious, like, unequivocally, I really wonder what difference it'll really make, because again, a lot of this stuff was done in private. Or it was done, and if it was done publicly, it was done in a way that wasn't reaching a real mass audience. It wasn't reaching it. It's not really fair to say that it was reaching an audience of millions of people, because that's just objectively not true that I can see, right? Because if it was, then I think you would have a lot more people saying stuff towards home, making more than a handful of just dummies online saying heinous things towards them, right? Saying that they're going to go mess them up and things like that. You'd probably have a lot more gay opping going on, right? You'd probably have, gay ops happening in droves. So it's one of those things that I don't know what real difference it'll make overall. Maybe it'll make a significant difference if something, in one of those alt accounts was, I guess, even more damning, but I don't know. Again, just the thing about doxing, right, is that doxing is not illegal. But the thing is, obviously the whole argument here is that because of the doxing, right, one of the main things, because of the doxing, it has caused, emotional, Omis claim has caused emotional distress, fearing for his safety and stuff like that. But it hasn't been in as mass as has been presented in these filings, my opinion. It certainly hasn't been posted to millions of people. I don't think that is an accurate way to portray this. So, Zana, was Ray Harpy in the filing? No, Ray Harpy has not appeared in the filings. And again, even if that one ends up being delirious, that's separate of Ohm. So I don't know what relevance that'll really have to Ohm, honestly. Because again, there's this thing. Oh, he threatened a baby. I mean, sure, you could say that there's an implied threat there towards a baby, or intimidation at best. But as far as it being a threat, gonna be kind of hard to prove that an emoji is a threat. I mean, I guess, they're gonna, you could say it can be interpreted as one, maybe, but it's going to be interesting to see how they argue that, right? And I'm sure they'll probably will, if that does come into play, right, and that ends up being delirious, and they say, well, he said that this girl's baby is gone. It's just like, okay, but again, a good lawyer is going to argue what does that mean specifically. So again, even if it ends up being delirious, what difference does that really make to him? It just shows that, okay, it's another account that's another burner account that's associated to delirious. It's like, okay, so what? You know what I mean? It's And, I know people are probably say like, oh, but he threatened a baby and this, that, and the other. I'm just like, okay. I mean, again, I'm not condoning those actions, but again, like I said, a lawyer is gonna be able to, like I said, a good lawyer is gonna be able to make an argument against that. It's like, is that really a threat? I'm just like, what does that mean exactly? What does a little ray gun emoji mean? You know what I mean? I guess you could say, again, you could argue that it's an implied threat, but it'll be interesting to see because I've never seen that before, right? I've never seen lawyers argue about emojis, so that'll be interesting to see. Dev says Ohm can't really go at Delirious for others. However, he can only tie it into his own case. Should Dell have mentioned Ohm within any threat tweet? See, the thing is, here's the big thing with all this too, right? If Delirious did defame Ohm in any tweets on his main account, right? I would assume those have been long gone, right? And the ones that we do know of that he did show where he called Ohm a piece of crap and stuff like that. Calling somebody a piece of crap is not really defamation. It's just you're just calling somebody a piece of crap. But the other stuff, right? The alleging the stuff of having sex with a minor and stuff like that. That's something that, of course, is different. That's an entirely different thing. So as far as the, and him obviously bringing in the whole sex tape thing, that's something he did, I believe, he did tweet about that, which again, that's not good. It's not gonna be good for him. But at the same time, those are things that, again, those are probably the most, I guess, the most egregious things. Let me see. Let me see this. Let me make sure. So I mean, as far as his tweets go, as far as his main account, see, and that's the thing. They talk about it even in the filing, right, where he was just the stuff that he mainly tweet about regarding Ohm would be, calling Ohm manipulative, saying, he's DMing people, and stuff like that. So yeah, see, and the stuff with so even the sex tape stuff, right? That's not stuff that he ever. The only thing I think that they definitely got Delirious did to rights on, at least on his main account, was that he did dox Ohm's girlfriend, I think, on his main account. I believe his current girlfriend, which of course we're not going to look up her name. But that's something he did do on his main account. But as far as the other stuff, they haven't brought up anything in regards to even I don't believe at any point he ever did anything that was really grossly defamatory on his main account. And again, if he did and he got rid of it beforehand, that is what it is. If that's true, right? Because again, I know that certain things were deleted, sure. But then we saw the stuff, right? Let me bring this up real quick because I think this is important because we need to have context for all this stuff. Because if you remember, when all this shit kicked off in 2021, when the shit hit the fan, remember that there was a Google Doc where Ohm had basically screenshotted. He had screenshots of tweets by Delirious. He created a Google Doc with screenshots of stuff Delirious had said, stuff that Wildcat had said, stuff that basically Marcel had said, and 407. If you guys remember that, maybe we'll do another stream where we'll kind of go down memory lane and go over those. But none of that stuff, none of those tweets, right? If those were tweets that were deleted, I gotta be honest, there was really nothing in them that I could say was really super incriminating. You know, at best, again, you could probably infer certain things from them, right? But there's no there's no outright admission in those deleted tweets. You know what I mean? Um, so and then we have, I mean, we have other people saying it, right? We have like, I think we had like Wildcat saying stuff. We had you know, basically saying stuff, but there's no point where there's any there's any you know, admission there. Like I said, the admissions we have now are obviously these ones, right? The stuff in regards to these burner accounts and the burner email. And that's where it's at right now. So it's what Flex covered, calling it new, because no, yeah, none of that stuff was. See, the thing is, I think the biggest issue with Flex's videos is that it basically, what he does in his video is basically assert that whatever allegations are out there on, like, you know, Louis and whoever else, well, it must be, the stuff with Louis must be true because of how he used to talk back then. It's just like, that's not how that works. You can't, you know what I mean? You know, because of this, ergo, this must be true. And it's just like, that's not how that works, bro. You know? So that's, that was, yeah, I didn't agree with the conclusion that he came up with. Let me see. Dev says that's an interesting thought. If he fails in suing H2O, do you think he'll go after the others? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. It seems like with Delirious, there's the biggest axe to grind there, because Delirious was the one that engaged with him, right? So there's the biggest axe to grind there, I believe, because there was retaliation there. So One Up says, I looked at everything in that folder and I can say everything I saw pretty much out of context, didn't prove anything. Yeah. And I would agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that, because I remember when I looked over it too, I'm like, none of this proves anything unequivocally. So really all we can do is just, I mean, anybody could speculate, right? Anybody could, the stuff in those folders, yeah, it doesn't look good, but at the same time, none of it is stuff that I would say conclusively proves anything either. It's just like, it's because, remember, when you have tweets that are completely out of context, and you know, you put them up in the order that suits your narrative, of course, you know, you can make the story seem however you want. So, and again, you know, look, maybe those guys knew 100%. They probably, it seems obvious that they knew, but just because they knew, right? Because people will use this argument. I've seen this happen so many times in commentary, and this is one of the things where I think, like when the pyrocynical stuff was happening, right, with the whole Ivory kid, I remember there was people saying, like, there was people trying to come forward and say, well, pyrocynical had to have known. And it's just like, just because you assume that, just because you speculate that, doesn't mean that that was the case. You have to have something that shows that, right? And that's where I think where you've seen instances where other people have gotten caught, right, like completely red-handed, is because there has been that acknowledgement from the guilty party that they did know, right? And then they, at that point, they don't deny it. They just kind of like busted, right? They're busted. We saw that with, I think one of the best examples of that was the Ass Man stuff, right? The Ass Man stuff that came out a couple years ago, right? When the girl came forward, and that girl, like, she dumped the entire, you know, pretty much, you know, she dumped a good chunk of the chat log in a pretty good context there. I would say in full context, I would say. And that was like, when you do stuff like that, that makes it a little bit harder to refute and a little bit harder to deny. And I remember that girl, and why a lot of people believe that girl, and why I gave her the benefit of the doubt, is also because, even though I don't know for a fact that she filed a police report, she claimed that she did go to the police first, and she acknowledged the fact that, okay, I know I went to the police, I filed the report, nothing's happened. It's been this amount of time since I filed it, and I know that by me coming public with this will probably affect any headway that they could have. But I think I've waited long enough. It's just like, she felt there was no other recourse. And the thing is, the stuff that, at least the stuff that she brought, because her first instinct wasn't to run to the internet with it. She actually waited on it and tried to go through the process. Allegedly, she tried to go through the process of even filing the police report. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she did. But the thing is, with her evidence, with that girl's evidence, she showed stuff in a lot more of a fuller context. And it was stuff that was really hard to refute, right? Because it had her basically straight up telling him her age, right? And him acknowledging it, acknowledging that he knew how young she was, and not having any problem whatsoever in engaging in sexual an inappropriate sexual conversation with her, and even making plans to go out and meet her for sex and stuff like that. And that guy disappeared from the internet. That dude dipped. He deleted all social media. And again, does that mean he's guilty 100%? I don't know. But it definitely looks sus, right? When the guy up and leaves, deletes all his socials, deletes his YouTube channel, just disappears completely. It's like, might have been something to that, right? So, but we don't know. We don't know, because the thing is, again, just because somebody doesn't address something immediately, I've also found it doesn't necessarily speak to guilt. Because Pro Jared situation, right? Pro Jared didn't address this situation immediately, went to his lawyers, handled things behind the scenes, then finally addressed his stuff. Same thing with Andy Signore, right? Andy Signore had was under a gag order for a couple years, couldn't talk about it, then finally addressed it when he could, Even then with Andy Signore, that dude that's a whole nother case right there. That dude's wild. But Zana says, wait, Amy, nah, it's kind of seemed bullshit because she said something near the end of saying going to the police. And yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like, these are people, the two people that Ohm interviewed are people that live they live across the pond, right? And is it possible that they filed police reports? Sure. It certainly is possible. It certainly is possible. But I doubt anything is going to happen, even if they did. If it comes to light, right? If in these filings, right, they finally show these alleged police reports and FBI reports, obviously nothing has happened, right? If there is, an FBI case on Delirious, if the FBI was called or FBI report was filed, nothing's happened to him, right? He's still free. He's still home doing his thing, uploading videos. So nothing's come of it. And when you think about it, it's been 2 years. You would think by now, if they had something to go on, and I get, hey, investigations could take a while, but I haven't heard of any warrants being issued for any kind of searches and seizures of anything. So, and that's the thing. If something like that had happened, I'm sure we would have heard about it by now, right? If there was any searches or seizures done of Delirious's home, right? That would have made news for sure. Yo-Yo says, and this is one reason I don't see Ohm as a good person, even if he didn't break the law. Wasn't a good excuse that he acted in Twitter and YouTube. I don't know what you're referring to. You're responding Metro Pro. If authorities were involved, CPS would have stepped in and separated Dell from his kids ASAP. Yes, they can legally do so, even if it's just an allegation. Yeah, if they have cause to do so. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. I That's what I'm saying. It's just like, even if it's true that a FBI, if a police report and FBI report were filed, I haven't heard of any kind of action being taken at all. Like I said, exactly. Delirious still at home, still with his kids. Haven't heard of any searches and seizures. Um, so haven't heard of any raids on his house, right? For anything. So yeah, where it stands right now is basically the case can go either way. This is not a criminal case. That's the other thing too that people need to remember. This is not a criminal case, and this is just to basically win money. It's the party that wins is either they're going to win a sum of money, and it's probably going to be a thing where as part of that, the other side is just going to leave the other side alone after that. They're going to go their separate ways after that. They're going to be done. It's like somebody's going to win a sum of money, and then it's going to be it's all over. And I think the other thing that'll happen is there'll probably be bragging rights attached to the fact that whoever ends up winning will be able to say like, "Gotcha," you know what I mean? I win, you lose. Now I get to take a victory lap online. Now, in the case of Delirious, I don't know how he would handle it publicly. I feel that Owen would probably feel a little bit more vindicated, but then again, maybe he'll just take his money and be chill. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how he'll react, but again, it's not a criminal case, and to me, I feel like this is more of a matter of me personally. My opinion of the whole thing is that it almost feels like it's not just about winning money; it's also about winning in the court of public opinion. That's the feeling I get from all of this, and I feel that it's more about that and vindication in the public space. How the public perception is going to be after it's all said and done. But even still, again, it's a civil trial. I don't think that like if Ohm wins, right? If Ohm wins, I'm sure he'll win a nice little sum of money, but I don't know that this is really going to help anything for him. Just like I don't see how it's going to make any kind of a difference for Delirious in the public eye either. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know how really either side lording this over the other is really going to. I mean, I guess in the sense for maybe like their fans, that's probably going to be more for their fans than anything else. It's going to be more for fans of Ohm to be able to say like, yeah, Ohm won, F you, Delirious. If they're fans of Ohm, and same thing with Delirious' side, right? It's going to be them being able to say, F you, Ohm, Delirious won. Just to kind of rub it in his face daily and stuff. So I think it's going to be more. That's really what we can expect to see more than anything else is probably that. And if there's a settlement, I mean, people will consider a settlement a loss depending on who settles for what, right? Or who's doing the settling and for what. Hey, what's up, Sen? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, this is not a bad way to put it. Yeah, everyone lose but the lawyer. No, the lawyers are the ones that are going to be the winners because they're going to get paid regardless. The ones that win in the end are the lawyers, 100%, because the lawyers are going to get paid. They're going to get paid every penny that they've earned. So, Deven says, I would just like to see the harassment of Ohm be put a stop to. He started all this acting like a jilted lover. Yeah, I mean that's the way that's the public perception for sure. I'm sure he's a guy that feels justified for what he's doing. However which way he wants to rationalize that or what's the word come to terms with that. Yeah, I mean however he reconciles that for himself. I mean that's on him. I mean, like I said, I've always disagreed with how he's handled stuff publicly. At least he's going through the courts now. But my opinion, like I said, has always been that a lot of in regards to whatever Delirious' counterclaim is, right? If he can show that too, if he has like private communications from people that were like big on the streaming scene, like they, we saw it in the filing, right? Where he talked about Courage, that apparently Ohm contacted Courage and he contacted Valkyrie and a couple other Gorilla Fent and people like that. They probably have those DMs. And if you think about that, right? And this is no offense to like, Chilled or my other contemporaries, but people like Courage and Valkyrie have way bigger followings than, myself, Chilled, TJ, who, and anybody that Delirious contacted was on a much smaller scale. Random people too that he was contacting that didn't even have any kind of a significant following, that he was defaming Ohm to, right? Again, not really the same. I don't think it's equal at all. So it's like, if they have that, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting case. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is that comes up in these filings, heading into the future here. Who are you harassing now? Oh, for me. Oh, for what I said. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Dev, thank you for the 5. You are the stream mommy. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me. Like I said, always willing to correct the record. I think I have with what I've gone over here. So, and I will continue to do so. I have no problem, again, like I said, saying if I've missed something or I've been wrong, I have no problem going back to check it and making sure that the right stuff goes out there. So I will continue to do so. But I appreciate you all joining me. You all have a fantastic night. I will catch you on the next stream. Be on the lookout for when that will be announced. Follow me on Twitter at Toy Bounty Hunter. That's usually where I announce the streams. And I will catch you on the next one. You all have a fantastic night.